Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch. Come on in, Vin. Bye now.
Come on in, Vin. Win, don't sin.
Oh, no.
I can still hear your voice above the din.
So we are in the
Waiting
middle
out
of
behind
our
like Jeremy Lin.
DJ stream from Metlcat. As you can see, that's his little teeny tiny
That's a
kitty
little
over there.
metal cat on the side. That's a
Representing the
on
big
the
homie.
side.
We are going on to Incantation.
Christening the Afterbirth. Holy moly. All right, so we're going to have to say a quick prayer before we listen into this joint, apparently.
Why?
Good Lord.
Because of the name? Blech.
Yeah, Christening the Afterbirth. That's kind of grody.
Disgusting.
All right, let's check it out. Christians reacting to Christening the Afterbirth. Let's go.
Holy crap, that's way too loud. Offensively loud. Kind of sludgy. Nope. No.
No.
For you too? We need the box of props.
Vin out.
No, you can't do that. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Metlcat, is this the one that you thought we wouldn't like? I knew this one would be the problem, he said.
Well, I don't dislike it for the reason that he probably assumes.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Metlcat, put in the comment section why you think we don't like it.
Yeah. Tell us why you think we don't like the song.
Yeah, and we'll let you know if you're correct or not. We want to know why you think Vin didn't and why I didn't. That's
why he did it for the 4th song and not the 5th song. He didn't want to end on a sour note.
You know what I would have done? I would have started with this one if it was iffy. So then we'd be like, oh no, it's going to be a whole list of these crappy songs. And then you would have assaulted us with the next ones. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming...
the sound and
the
production for both of you.
Go ahead.
For me, it just had there was nothing new about it. It just sounded kind of like the same kind of doomy death metal, but there was nothing. Usually there's something that's okay, there you heard that kind of sludge sound in there, but then there was something that kind of layered on top of it to make it something different. It was just very basic to me. And then obviously lyrically, it was just...
Yeah, but this is 1992.
Okay, so
it was new in 1992.
Yeah, I'm saying for...
It's not new for us. We've listened over 2,000.
Yeah.
So the whole shocking, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. That's not, you know what I'm saying? We've heard it all.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, and, we've seen some pretty nasty stuff when it comes to this stuff. So, it's not as shocking as it would have been when we first started the channel. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Feast on the flesh of newborn life, connecting ritual of ancient baptism, raise high the fetal excrements, bless this birth, for it must be cleansed. Yeah, I just think in a country that has had 68 million abortions, that this doesn't seem as especially if you know how that procedure works.
Yeah.
This is not oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Because the shit that's happening in the real world to babies is out of a horror movie.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason it wasn't really that big of a oh my God type of reaction to me, because a lot of people look away from what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And that's my thing is that, okay, well, look up what a dilation and curettage abortion entails. Mm-hmm. And it's the 2nd most popular form of abortion on the planet. I mean, in America. So when I see this guy, I'm like, man, this is child's play compared to
wow
to the shit that's happening every single day in our country. So that's why it wasn't this massive oh my God, I can't believe you said it. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out, because first of all, the afterbirth is the placenta. That's not...
I know, it was a little confusing there.
I think they were trying to say something about killing the child, and maybe they're referring to the child as the afterbirth itself.
That's what I was wondering.
Maybe they, poetically, or they got confused or whatever. But I mean, it talks about feasting on the flesh of newborn life. There are people that eat their placentas though, so I don't if you wanted to go mega literal.
Oh God, babe, please.
It could work. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I can't think about that. That's very gross.
Yeah,
commencing ritual of ancient baptism. Raise high the fetal excrements.
The fetal excrements, so baby poop.
Yeah.
Unless he's saying that the baby itself is poop. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bless his verse, for it must be cleansed into damnation. Sacrificial rite of the newborn child. Ritualistic mass forever with the god. Rid the afterbirth of sin. Into the dark they see visions of immortality. Ready to feast on corpses awaiting the flesh of mortals. Cleansing, christening the afterbirth. Bodies putrefied beneath unholy sepulcher. That's probably sepulcher. Yet to be revealed. Decayed beyond recognition. Preparing the form of a black mask. Christening the afterbirth. There was just that thing about those native bodies that were found underground.
Oh God!
And apparently the Catholic, like, I'm not out here to like completely say all Roman Catholics are responsible. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because that would be unfair. But and obviously it's easy for us to say we're Protestants, but I mean, that's what that line reminded me of. I was like, holy shit, I think it was like 150 kids that we unearthed or whatever.
Pretty sure that it keeps, like, they keep finding more. Are these like those Indian children?
Yeah, Native American kids, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, they've been saying stuff all along and nobody heard them, and now they had to go to the school. I don't know. It was just really sick. It was really sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, like... Yeah, that was some sick stuff. So, like, part of me is like, I understand we're trying to, you know, scare people or react to people. I'm not talking about you, Metlcat. I'm just talking about like bands, especially bands like this. That's clearly their motives to try to get but like what? It just makes me wonder, what does it do for you as a band? Yeah. That's kind of the mystery to me. It's not a criticism. It's not a commendation. It's genuinely curious. Like, what does singing a song like this on stage do for you? Like, so for example, like when I look at Got the Life or like Korn, it makes sense to me. Slipknot makes sense to me.
Yep.
Metallica, like even when you're not singing about your personal issues, because Korn was more is more personal.
Yeah.
This happened to me, that happened to me. Metallica was talking about, you know, you got songs like Disposable Heroes, which by the way, Disposable Heroes came about not because they were cogitating on war, but because they were thinking about football.
Really?
Yeah. And they were talking about how these guys would get injured, and it was like, go play, back to the front, play injured, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
really?
Yeah. And so the metaphor for the soldier came from the football player. So
no way.
That was part of like some of the debates that I was having with some other people. So it's very interesting stuff. But,
that is interesting.
Yeah. So even a song like Disposable Heroes, it's like you're speaking as a voice for, you know, people who have been treated unfairly.
Yeah.
Master of Puppets, you know, like. So, like, even if Metallica doesn't necessarily have to have gone through the situation, I could still see that it's cathartic in that, like, playing a song like that, like, oh, I'm speaking for this group of people. Mm-hmm. I'm not certain, like, what happens on stage when you're playing this song.
Yeah.
What is your emotional connection to it?
Yeah.
That's the thing that I don't understand. Or is it all of us are going to have one song on there to like trigger the Christians, and then we're going to play our real stuff live? Like that's the part that I'm not sure about.
I think one thing that's interesting about, first of all, I like the album cover, surprisingly, but do you like it?
It's all right.
I like it. Anyway, so the one thing that I think is interesting is, so obviously what they're trying to do is have like some sort of shock factor to this. And they're talking about basically sacrificing this child, I believe, right? That's what you got from it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you think, okay, here is would this be black and death metal?
Probably.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
So here you have a black and death metal band that's singing about sacrificing a child. And so that's supposed to, like, it's kind of like this genre where people are supposed to be kind of shocked. Anybody on the outside is like, oh my gosh, a black metal. Oh my God, they're talking about sacrificing children. Mm-hmm. But I think at the same time, it's almost one of those things. I don't think that they intended it to be, but it is an eye-opener to say, okay, here you have a black and death metal band that's playing songs about killing children, and they're doing it on purpose to be shocking, while at the same time, like you said, our country aborts, 3,000 babies a day? Mm-hmm. 3,000 a day. Mm-hmm. And that's just regular life. That's not like, oh, you're in this black metal band and you're singing about killing kids. Like, this is what we're doing every single day. And it's normalized to the point where people will shout their abortions or people will talk. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of one of those things where if you put them side by side, it's like, well, you know, these people have a message here because they're supposed to be shocking and scary. And then it's like, so what does that say about you in your, you know, rows of houses? And, you know, when you look at like a housing development and how many abortions could have taken place inside that housing development. It looks all perfect and whatever. Like, this makes sense. Like, the band, it's got this Baphomet-looking character holding a cross with chains off it, and this man's being thrown into a pit. Like, this makes sense that these people would sing about killing children. But that's actually not the shocking thing. The shocking thing is that in those nice little communities where everything looks good, children are being killed. 3,000 a day are getting killed in this country alone. Mm-hmm. That's what's shocking. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think it's an interesting, not that I think that's where they were trying to go with it, but that is what I think of.
And there is a spiritual element to all this stuff. I mean,
and a sacrificial nature to it as well.
Yeah, the whole Baphomet thing. I'm pretty sure Baphomet didn't demand child sacrifice, but Molech did, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Molech demanded, post-birth, sacrifice. And a lot of the time it was for economics. It was because, you wanted, the rains to come or the grains so that you could have, wheat and whatever to trade with people. So you were sacrificing these kids for economics. And there was some like religious undertone to it. Mm-hmm. Like, so yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, that makes a lot of sense. I just, like, for me, when I write music, I'm like, I want to get something out. I want to express myself. Yeah. Like, unless this guy, like, has a penchant for murdering children, which I don't believe he does.
That would be a good question. I would like to know the answer to that question as well.
What happens to you when you play this song?
Okay, so
what are you getting out of it?
If you're the band that did this song, we would love to interview you. So, if you have the time and you want to speak to Vin and Sori, email us at vinandsori@gmail.com. Let us know you're the band, because we would definitely want to interview you. Because I agree with you. That's a very interesting question. I don't know. What do they get out of that?
Yeah, and maybe they're part of some, cult that celebrates sacrificing babies. I mean, I doubt it. These guys are usually like the nicest people on the planet. Mm-hmm. Although I was watching a Vlad interview a couple days ago, and this dude was like the nicest, most humble guy on the planet, and he's got like 10 bodies that we know of. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. What's really interesting though is that sonically, the drummer got a lot of attention in the comment section, and the guitar work. I was focusing heavy on the lyrics, but I was also looking at the comment section, and the guitar work was insane. Mm-hmm. I
think people commented a lot. I think I did see that as well.
What that guy had to pull off, the subtleties and some of the rhythm changes that he was doing and things of that nature, like. It's like Steph Curry. You see Steph Curry, like, he casually just runs off of the screen, mm-hmm. and then he stops, mid-motion, pulls up, hits a three, like, just very casually, and he just pulled. I know, as a basketball fan and player, what all he did. Mm-hmm. He did like 19 things to get to that spot and all the rest of it. But if you're not familiar with the game, you're like, oh yeah, I mean, this little guy just kind of goes off, like, it just looks like pedestrian. Yeah. So when this dude was playing, like, it flowed so well and things like that, but there was a whole bunch of subtleties and nuance to this guy's game that is just unbelievable, like, as a guitarist. But you're like, man, are people hearing this? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was really cool to see everybody talking about that guitar work and giving that guy his props, mm-hmm. because we couldn't really hear a lot of what dude was saying. You know what I mean? which is the design of death metal most of the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But sonically, we could hear it, and that actually did a lot. Now, I do agree, instrumental would have been better. Not because the lyrics were bad or anything like that, but because it would have really, really, really featured. Their rhythm section was off the chain, and the guitarist and all the rest of it. So yeah, I would have really, really, really have liked to have seen that. What'd you give the song?
I gave it a 3. It was very boring to me. The whole thing was just boring.
Okay, so Perk says, I want to point out that Incantation innovated this style of death metal in 92. This actually was revolutionary.
Shoot.
Countless death metal bands have cited them as an influence. Yeah.
See, so
that's why I went to the date. That's why I pointed to the date.
Yeah, I see what you're
has
saying.
to be
It's
a
very
factor.
hard because for me, this is just a 3. But the reason it's a 3 is not only because it's not my thing, but also because it was boring to me because this is what they sound like. But if this was the start of this type of music, then you have to give them props for that because
That's what I'm saying.
the only reason it could be boring now is because they started it back in 92.
Right.
So I have to bring that into account. You go ahead and give your score
All right,
so I can...
the lyrics were not bad. The lyrics were well constructed. The sound, his vocals really hurt the song just because it was kind of distant. Which, again, maybe you wanted to feature the music because the guitar and the rhythm section did so well, but obviously that hurt it for me. But at the same time, it's a classic song. It makes you think. It definitely made you think. And the drumming and the guitar work was insane. I'm going to have to give it an 8.5. I got to give it an 8.5, at least.
Okay, I was bumping mine to an 8. But know that I personally feel like it's a 3. I just can't give it a 3 if they were that influential. If the comment section's correct, I have to take that into account. I mean, you can't just not count that. So that would be an 8.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's very, very, very fair. But yeah, let's hey, if you're in the band, you're in this apparently this legendary death metal band.
Give us
you
your
wanna talk
time.
to some kids on YouTube, hit us up, sir. Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.